Okay, we've come to the lay shaft and I've just gone and washed it up and had a good look, and what I had missed earlier is this tooth here. There's that one there, looks like something's jammed in the end of the tooth sometime. Then the next one round and the next one round. It's not right in where the other gears run on it, but it's on the edge there, so I'm not sure about that. The old gearbox that I got the other parts out of, you know, the selector rails and all that, there's a 6-speed gearbox I've been pulling parts out of off a FE35 grey and gold. Now, all the gears don't match, but some do. So this shaft in the FE35 box is seized solid. So I don't know, I'm going to try and get it out and reclaim it. I don't know how I'll go there. I probably won't film that. YouTube doesn't like swearing. So this gear here, look, it's got wear on it and it's quite rounded at the front there. So as part of pulling this out, this has to come off. So if the ones in that gearbox are good, we'll use them. And once washed up, you can just see the hardening along these a little bit. So this old gearbox, she's had a hard life. So for the moment, I'm going to whiz away, go and grab the old gearbox out of the bush, and see if there's any chance I can get it apart. Everything is seized, it doesn't turn, that's why I didn't get it out earlier. Yeah, but I do have the selector rails out of it. The planetary off the back is really good out of it, but I didn't bother pulling the gearbox apart. So stay tuned. I'll go and see if I can get these shafts out for one thing, and if I can, we'll bring them back into screen here and we'll just see what sort of condition they're in. Though you must remember this gearbox has been sitting around for probably 5 years I know of, with no top on it, and it was very rusty looking when I got it, because my friend Chris got it from a scrap metal merchant. Not this gearbox, the gearbox off the gold diesel 35. So anyway, we'll have a look. We'll see if we can save the day without having to wait a bit longer and find new shafts and things like that. Okay, look, I got it apart. It was far easier than I thought. This is a 15 tooth gear, so is this. You can see the rust on the teeth, and you can see this sand here. I just cleaned it up and put it in the sandblaster to see what the teeth were like, and look at that. That is a good tooth. So down through here, there's a very, very slight pitting, like it's just a surface rust, pitting, for want of a better word. It's just a rough surface, it's not pitting is what I'm probably trying to say. So that there, now I know that the teeth are okay, I'll go there. Where the teeth on this shaft flattened out from grinding gears, you can see they're flat. These ones here, they've still got the actual original profile there in them. So we're going to use that. Now, as part of sliding this shaft out, you have to pull these other gears out. So this gear here, that's the one that you can see the pitting in, and it's been really rounded around the front edge. This gear here, look, it looks like brand new. Like this, looks like there's been no cleaning of the teeth. So I'm pretty sure they're the same. Let's have a quick look. So how I do this, I just hold one and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 23 tooth. Let's try the same here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3. 23 teeth. I can't match up a part number with this because I just can't see one on the part. You know, often they're stamped in or cast in, so I can't see it on the old gear either. So I'm going to bead blast this up the same as this tooth there, just make sure there's no rust. It does get rid of the shine off the gears, and that's fine. Like, it'll have that back in no time flat. So I can put those gears over there for the moment. Now these fellas here, there's the original one. Now look, it's not too bad. The tooth profile seems pretty good. It has been rattled along the front there for a little bit, and this one here, look, it looks to be brand new on those surfaces. The gears, I haven't cleaned the gear up yet, but there's very light rust on it. I'm hoping it'll work okay. Now, the tooth count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 33 teeth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they're the same gear. This one is in better nick than this one. Now, on here, this is what I like to be able to see. 180415M1 and 180415M1. So we know they're the same. So look, that's been a bit of a bonus for sure. I'll go and tidy this shaft up again. I'll tidy these gears up, and look, I'll bead blast them. I don't film that. I'll come back once it's all done, and I'll have this all washed and ready to do some assembly on. And really the only thing we need to do is fit a new needle bearing, which is your PDO shaft support bearing. So the shaft comes out through here and this supports it. Your hydraulic pump's just behind it, then your PDO is at the back there. So we have to fit a new one of those. We have to replace the bearing, put a new bearing here, and look, that's about it to get it ready to slide into the transmission. So we'll get this shaft ready. I'll come back, once I can bump this bearing on and do a few things like that. Okay, and this is just for interest for you. There's the top shaft. And look, this CRC penetrate, I could not move any gears on the shaft, so I had to bang them back and forth. I sprayed that on, left it sit for a while, and yeah, look, I knocked the shafts out. So I don't think I would have done it without that, but who knows. And then down in here, you can see all the leaves and the crud and everything down in there that we were dealing with. So the reverse idler is still there. It turns. Actually, I should probably pop that out if I pull this shaft out. Come on, Gertie. There we go. There's no wear on that shaft, but you can see the rust, the light rust on it, and the reverse idler gear. This is a bit of a rusty old show there. So anyway, that housing is stripped completely now. There's the date code on it, I think. I'll come around the other side and see if there's a casting number. There you go, that's what we're looking for. 182840M2. So yeah, I'll keep that. I might degrease this out now, and I may as well just pressure clean it, and pressure clean it, oil him up and keep him out of the weather now. Better late than never, I suppose, isn't it? So but yeah, they're the gears that came out of it, but boy, she took some getting out. That's your front PDO gear, front gear on your lower shaft. So yeah, actually that's the main input gear. That's the gear that's different on the 35 to the 65 because of the different input reduction. So anyway, look, we've had a win this morning. Let's get back and see if I can clean these shafts up. Okay, there's the gears all cleaned up. Now, when I say bead blasted, it's like a sand blaster, but I use glass beads instead of coarse garnet or something like that. So it doesn't affect the metal surface at all. It cleans it. It cleans the rust away, but it doesn't affect or doesn't pit it or anything like that. If there's a pit there now, it would have been there to start with. So, look, the teeth are okay. There's just a very slight. It's not a smooth, shiny finish. It's slightly. It's had the shine taken off it, and that's fine. It's not actually eating in to the gear. So this constant mesh gear, this gear here, 180415M1. I run it through the process as well. Look, that gear is really like brand new. And this other little fella here, was that 23 teeth gear? It's the same. I run it through the process, then washed it in the parts washer to get all the sand and that, blew it all dry, and hit it up with the old CRC brake cleaner. Geez, I use this stuff. I go through a lot of that, and blew it all dry, and here we go. So to start off with, I'll have to knock this bearing out of the end here. So that fella there, we're not going to keep that. Now, I'd just like to show you on this shaft here that I presume has never been apart. You can see the flat surface of the roller bearing, and you can see the writing there. That's the correct way for it. This shaft here, it's got the round edge of the needle roller there. That's not right. These bearings are designed that the round surface goes in and you press on the flat surface here. So that's been asked about for years. I don't know who's worked on this in the past, but anyway, pretty rough buggers probably. We have a new bearing, so we're not even going to knock this one off. I'll put this one under the bench out of the way. It'll still be there in 50 years time probably. And we have a new bearing for there. So the bearing's an S40757. And they're tin shielded bearings. Now, one of the bearings that I got out of the old box had one seal missing and one left in. The other box outside that I just pulled apart that had this on it had sealed both sides. I'm going to open them up and I'm going to let the splash feed from the gearbox lubricate them all. So I'm just going to hop in here, pop that out, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Wiped it on my pants, don't tell Mum. There we go. So that bearing, there's no particular way for that to go. So we'll just bring him down over. We'll give him a bump on. Now, like I said in the last shaft, I have a 50 tonne press and a 6 tonne press, and I can certainly go and pop these on, but I just want to show the fella that's trying to fix his own tractor in the paddock that you don't need all of that all the time. So, actually what I haven't done, a little bit of oil. Well, a little bit and a lot, it's sort of the same thing in my shed. And when you're putting this bearing on, only press on this centre section here. So I'll bring that over there so you can see what's going on a little bit. I don't hit on the same place in the bearing all the time. I just usually vary it a little bit. I can just feel that went hard. And I probably should have bashed that on and then pulled this off just in case the punch put a bit of swarth out or something, but anyway, it's too late now. It'll be fine. Okay, so now that's on, this constant mesh gear ends up sitting on there, but we don't want to put that on yet. Get on there, I've just got to make sure it fits. Yep. So this constant mesh gear goes on now. We have a snap ring there, but we can't put the shaft back in with that in place. So we leave that out for the moment. This didn't have a snap ring on it, but it has a snap ring up there, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, this needle bearing here, if you get a 38mm disc, and bring that through. There we go, and it's important that you push it all the way so it drops on the floor. Oh, where are we? So that's the little needle roller out and on the floor in all its glory. Okay, the part number for the bearing I'm putting in is S40761, and I do notice that this actually has a roller cage in there, where the original was full rollers. So whether you're comfortable with that, look, I'm happy with it. The amount of work these tractors do now, well look, mine does anyway, it'll be fine. And that's the flat surface there, there's a bit of writing on there. So we'll slide this one in. Well, we won't slide it at all, we're going to bash it in, if we're honest. Make sure there's no rubbish in there. Okay, so I've got a 42mm disc now. So pick the side that the writing's on and keep it upwards. And we'll just you can feel that's gone home. There's a tiny little shoulder in there you can knock it down against. So that's fine, that's good for that. Now this is the front, so how this normally sits, I'll pop a bit of oil around the splines. So sits in the gearbox is this fella here. Sits on that shaft there. So that's that fella. This fella goes there. And then there's a bearing, and the bearing has the circlip to the back when it goes on, but you have to do that in the housing. So that ball bearing Sparex number S40785. So that's a countershaft, the one that sits in the bottom of the gearbox done. There's not much more we can do to that. I'll just sit that bearing with it, and I'll probably sit this gear with it as well. And when we come to putting it all together, what I like to do at this stage is I just sit everything together and this gear, I sit it, oh, watch your finger, Lance. Still got 9 good ones, stop whinging. Yeah, I just sit it all together like that. I sit it over on a piece of cardboard on a little table I have, and that's ready. Everything's there ready and it's serviced. But when we start assembling the gearbox, then we can just stay on assembling and not stop and start. So that's it. Yeah, that's the countershaft, the shaft down the bottom. So the PDO goes through there. So yeah, we'll get on to something else, eh?